Hi, I made a game, but not quite. Let's take a step back. Alright, so earlier in the month, I was reminiscing about old movie tie-in games. There are two movie tie-in games that instantly come to my mind that I had experience with. First one being Spider-Man 2 for the PlayStation 2. What a fun game with its open world, web swinging, fun beat 'em up mechanics, story that kind of adds on to the movie, and of course, funny ragdoll. And the other game was Cat in the Hat for the PlayStation 2. Yeah, varying levels of quality. But now there aren't quite movie tie-in games. Like maybe you'll get like a mobile game event or a DLC, a cosmetic in a game that like winks and nods, but not a dedicated thing. It doesn't have the magic spark that makes it a fun gem or pile of complete garbage. So I decided, hey, why not? I'll do my own. And I'm gonna use Morbius. Alright. I'm gonna plan this out. I'm planning to have this be a simple 3D beat 'em up. I haven't had too much work with 3D combat, but hey, learning experiences. And this isn't gonna be a full game, it's gonna be like a little demo, cause I'm not made of time and I have limits. So, I watched Morbius once, because, people were streaming it on Twitch. And so now I'm gonna start off with modeling. So I made a base template that I can use later on and rigged it so it can, move nicely. And I want the entire game to have a PlayStation 1 kind of look, so later on in the actual engine I'll get to it, but the low poly helps out with it. And so for animations, I just use Mixamo because I'm lazy and I don't have too much time on my hands. I mean, I have enough time that I made a Morbius game demo thing, but not enough to actually animate myself. So just use Mixamo. That's fine. I then imported the model to Unity, make sure it all works, and I began working on simple controls. So using the Cinemachine package, I created a third-person camera that I kind of envisioned, and it works fine. And I made a movement script that helps along with the player movement and has the camera follow along with the player. After that, I just made a quick little simple melee system for punching. Nothing groundbreaking, just simple. You click, punch. So once I had that, I began working on an enemy script, and I want this enemy to follow the player, but not all the time, so I made a very simple system. First stage is the idle stage, where the player is too far away, so the enemy literally does nothing and has like a little idle animation. The next stage is the range stage. Now the player is within distance, so the enemy is going to look at the player and attack every few seconds with a range attack. Then after that is the melee stage, where the player is close enough that it can walk towards the player and do a little melee attack. Once again, this is very basic, but I mean, this isn't going to be my magnum opus. At least I hope not. But yeah, simple, basic, but it works. Alright, so got the quote-unquote AI working, got the player working, so I just gotta attach the models with the animation to it. So first thing I did was the player animations. Again, just use Mixamo for this. Imported all the animations, set up the animation tree in Unity for the player, and made the logic for the scripts, and now I can play test it, and everything seems good. And so I did the same thing for the enemy, and also made a quick model of a gun, a generic gun. Got the animations into Unity, and just attached the gun to one of the hands of the model. And it's kind of janky, but I kind of like how it looks. So after having both the player and enemy set, I adjusted colliders and rigid bodies to make sure, despite its low quality, that at least is somewhat presentable. And so the next step was to level design. And I don't know how to level design. But before that, I gotta remember what big set piece is in Morbius. And the only two options that came to my mind was the boat lab thing in the beginning, and the subway, New York subway, when he's chasing the Doctor Who man. So I just went with the subway because it seemed easier to mess with. So I first just got a bunch of cubes and scaled them accordingly. But when I applied a texture to them, the textures were stretched and it did not look good. So what I did instead was create a tile map and just made a 3D tile map, changing it from, instead of being a sprite tile, to a game object tile. So just made simple game object planes that have a texture to them that are somewhat seamless, and just made a level that way. And so it can't be a true demo without a boss at the end, so I made the Doctor Who man boss. I think his name was Milo in the movie. And so I made him, gave him animations including his little dance, made his own AI, and so his AI is gonna be a little different. He's gonna be pure melee, and he has two stages. First stage, follow, doesn't attack, follow, doesn't attack. Second stage, his attacks do more damage, and he has this scream attack that's kind of broken, but I don't care enough to fix it. If you run away in time, you'll be good. And so after blocking out all the level and making the final boss area, I added the textures, added the PlayStation 1 shader effect, and then added enemies accordingly. Realized that, I should make health pickups. I made weird blood bag items as health pickups that show up throughout the map, and added a bunch to the boss arena, which, hey, not making it super difficult. And like when I was making free game, I forgot to talk about music. For music and sound effects, I just went to Incompetech, Kevin MacLeod, use royalty free. I credit it in the main title, I'll credit it below, but I can't make music, so I just got a track that I liked how it sounded and somewhat fit and put it in. And now I just gotta make a weird ending cutscene that's gonna play as soon as you beat him, and boom. So, making this game under a month, I've learned many things. One, I need to reprioritize my priorities. That sounds redundant, but oh well. Why am I making this? Well, it doesn't matter. I'll be honest, I had fun making this. I don't know the legality of this, but it should be fine. I'm not trying to make a profit, it's just a fun little shitpost. If you want to play this unofficial Morbius game, I'll leave a link below, unless I'm told I can't. And yeah, so this is my first proper, in quotes, 3D game, and I know it sounds like I'm making excuses like this is a shitpost, it's my first 3D game, but honestly, I'm happy and proud of myself. So if you enjoy this, do the like and subscribe, and maybe comment down below what I should make next.